Well, thank you very much, everyone. I want to start by, as always, thanking my family, my wife, Melania, my kids. They're not kids anymore, but they're kids as far as I'm concerned. They'll always be my kids. And I want to thank my great parents who are looking down right now, and my brother looking down on us. I want to thank my entire family, including Marianne, Elizabeth, Robert. And it's been some unbelievable day and evening and year, and never have been through anything like this, but it's a beautiful thing to watch and a beautiful thing to behold. And we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. So important. The people of Indiana have been incredible. I started, as you know, not very long ago, about 6 weeks ago, and I was told I had a 20-point deficit. And I went there and I worked very hard and I campaigned and I made lots of speeches and met lots of incredible people. You don't get better. And the crowds got bigger and bigger, and toward the end, it was like I didn't want to leave. I almost said, maybe I'll just never leave. And it resonated somehow, and we had a tremendous victory tonight. It was a tremendous victory. And I have to thank Bobby Knight. Boy, Bobby Knight was incredible. He was incredible. I always say about, people like that, there aren't many, but it's called tough, smart, and they know how to win. And that's what our country needs. We have to win again. We have to know how to win. And we haven't won. We've been losing all the time. We lose with our military. We can't beat ISIS. We lose with trade. We lose with borders. We lose with everything. We're not going to lose. We're going to start winning again, and we're going to win big league, believe me. So when I got back tonight and I started watching all of the different networks, I could see immediately that we were doing very well, and it really looks like a massive victory, and looks like we win all 57 delegates as And I must say, in staying in various places in Indiana, we had, I turned on the television and all I saw was negative ads, negative one after another, and I called my people and I said, how can we win? It's just constantly, and it was the same as Florida. There's been 60,000 negative ads. I got it right from you folks, okay? 60,000. In fact, 2 weeks ago it was 55,000. Now it's 60,000 negative ads, most of which are absolutely false and disgusting. And I said, how can anybody endure this? I had one evening 2 nights ago where literally they had 5 ads on in between segments of a show that I was watching. And I said, that's just incredible. And the people are so smart. They don't buy it. They get it. And tremendous amounts of money were spent, millions and millions of dollars, and they were comparing it. They think it was probably $8 million was spent against me, and we spent $900,000. So, I mean, to me, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's something that makes me feel really, really very good. And now we're going to Nebraska, where I just hear we're doing really wonderfully. I look forward to that very much. And West Virginia, and we're going to get those miners back to work. I'll tell you what, we're going to get those miners back to work. We're not going to be Hillary Clinton, and I watched her 3 or 4 weeks ago when she was talking about the miners as if they were just numbers. And she was talking about she wants the mines closed and she will never let them work again. Let me tell you, the miners in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, which was so great to me last week, and Ohio, and all over, they're going to start to work again, believe me. You're going to be proud again to be miners. So we'll be going there. I must say, this tremendous run that we've had started with New York when we had almost 62%. And don't forget, that's with 3 people. So 62% with 2 people is a massive landslide, but 63%, almost just a little over 62, when you have that kind of a number with 3 people, it's actually unheard of. And all throughout, it was 17 people, then 15, then 12, and it's tremendous. And we were getting very high numbers. And some of the numbers, in my opinion, that I got in the early stages, where I'd win a state with 32%, but there were 14 people, I think that might be actually more and better than getting 62% in New York. But we never got credit for that. But now we don't need the credit, because we're going after Hillary Clinton. She will not. She will not be a great president. She will not be a good president. She will be a poor president. She doesn't understand trade. Her husband signed, perhaps in the history of the world, the single worst trade deal ever done. It's called NAFTA. And I was witness to the carnage over the last 6 weeks especially. Now, I've known Syracuse, and I've known Poughkeepsie, and I've known all of the different places that I visited in New York, and then Pennsylvania, and then Maryland, which treated me so great, and the people are incredible, and all of the different states, Connecticut, and I've witnessed what it's done really firsthand, and it has been indeed carnage. And we're going to change it around. We're not going to let Carrier and all of these companies just think that they can move, go to another country, make their product, sell it back to us, and we get only one thing. We get unemployment. Not going to happen anymore, folks. Not going to happen anymore. We're going to bring back our jobs, and we're going to keep our jobs. We're not going to let companies leave. Now, if they want to go to a different state, good luck. Compete. But when they start going to different countries, and in many cases countries that devalue their currency and make it impossible for our companies to compete, that's not going to happen, not going to happen. And if they want to do it anyway, there will be consequences, and there will be very, very serious consequences. I have to tell you that I've competed all my life. Competitive person. All my life, I've been in competitions, different competitions, whether it's sports or business or now for 10 months politics. And I have to tell you that I have met some of the most incredible competitors that I have ever competed against right here on the Republican Party. You know, we started off with that 17 number, and just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy. And he has got an amazing future. He's got an amazing future. So I want to congratulate Ted. And I know how tough it is. It's tough. It's tough. I've had some moments where it was not looking so good, and it's not a great feeling. And so I understand how Ted feels, and Heidi and their whole beautiful family. And I want to just say, though, that one tough competitor. And I can say that for the others. I mean, Chris Christie, who endorsed me, incredible guy. Dr. Ben Carson, who was right up there, one of the first. He just called me and said, it's a movement you've got going. We've got to do something, because I'll tell you what, it's an incredible movement. And Dr. Ben Carson endorsed me, and I want to tell you, that is an incredible man. And we want to keep them totally involved, because we're going to win. We're going to win in November. And we're going to win big, and it's going to be America first. You know, I made a speech the other day, and I talked about how we're the policemen for the world, how we protect other countries, and they don't respect us, and they don't take care of us, and they don't treat us right in many cases. And that's not going to happen. Now, we can keep things going, and we're going to keep things going very nicely, but we owe $21 trillion. It's 19 now, but with a budget that was recently done, soon it will be $21 trillion. And we're just not in the position that we were in 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when a lot of these things took place and began taking place. So we're going to have unbelievably good relationships with other countries. But likewise, they have to treat us fairly, and they have to understand that what we've been doing over the years has been so wrong and so unfair to the United States and to its people and to its taxpayers. So that will change, and I will tell you, they're going to end up liking us better than they do right now. They're going to respect us. In this building right upstairs, I have the largest bank in the world from China. The relationship is fantastic. We have great relationships with many foreign countries, but they have to respect us, and they have to understand where we're coming from. And you know, it is a two-way street. And the two-way street means that we're going down one side and they're coming up the other. And we're going to meet, and we are going to have something that's going to be really fabulous. Now, if that can't happen, if for some reason they want the system to continue the way it's going now, which is unfair and not good, where we're spending trillions and trillions of dollars, probably $4 trillion in the Middle East, and we have to rebuild our infrastructure, our roads, we have to rebuild our bridges, our airports, our hospitals in this country. We've become close to a third world country. You look at some of our airports, it's third world, and then you go to other countries and you see places like you've never seen. So I have to say that we are going to turn it around. We're going to build up our military bigger, better, stronger than ever before. It's the cheapest thing we can do. And we're going to have to take out ISIS, and we're going to have to take them out fast. We can't allow that cancer to continue. We cannot allow it to continue. And, you know, one group that's been so incredible to me are the vets, the veterans. And they've been treated so badly, so badly. And we're going to get that straightened out. Now, one of the things that just happened, which to me is very exciting, and it's happened now with 2 or 3, but the Rasmussen poll came out yesterday, and in that poll, I'm now leading Hillary Clinton. A lot of good things happened. We're now leading Hillary by 2 points. And that's going to continue, because they're not going to be able to do it, folks. They're not going to be able to make great trade deals. We have such bad deals. They're not going to be able to do what we can do with the military. They're not going to be able to do what we're going to do on the border, including the wall. We're going to have unbelievably great relationships with the Hispanics. The Hispanics have been so incredible to me. They want jobs. Everybody wants jobs. The African Americans want jobs. You look at what's going on. They want jobs. And we're going to bring back our jobs, and we're going to save our jobs, and people are going to have great jobs again. And this country, which is very, very divided in so many different ways, is going to become one beautiful, loving country. And we're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other. And we're going to have great economic development, and we're not going to let other countries take it away from us, because that's what's been happening for far too many years, and we're not going to do it anymore. We're not going to do it anymore. I want to thank and congratulate the Republican National Committee and Reince Priebus, who I just spoke to. He's doing a tremendous job. It's not an easy job when he had 17 egos, and now I guess he's down to 1. I don't know. Is there a second? I mean, is there a second? I don't know. I'm going to have to ask you folks to explain the status of that. But he's done an amazing job, and I think we're going to see something really, really fantastic. I also want to thank my staff, Paul, Corey, hope. I mean, these people, what we've been doing has been incredible. The work. The work has been unreal. And Jared, married to my daughter, Ivanka. I mean, honestly, you know, Jared is a very successful real estate person, but I actually think he likes politics more than he likes real estate, I must tell you. And he's very good at politics. So again, folks, this has been an amazing evening. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it. And what Ted did is really a very brave thing to do, and a great thing to do, because we want to bring unity to the Republican Party. We have to bring unity. It's so much easier if we have it. And many, many people are calling that you wouldn't even believe. The media, the press, they wouldn't believe. People that have said the worst things about me. I've never had things said about me like this. You know, in my businesses, I've always been very respected. People didn't talk to me this way. But in politics, it's easy. The worst things. And they're calling now, and they're calling us all, and they're saying, we'd love to get on the train, the Trump train, they call it, but we'd love to get on the team. And I actually spoke to one today, and who was vicious. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. And I said, I love having you, and, you know, I think it's terrific. But after what you said about me, how can you possibly join our team? And he said, Mr. Trump, don't even think about it. Don't worry about it. There'll be no problem. In other words, he's a politician. There's no problem. I would have had a hard time. But we have a lot of people coming on, lots of congressmen. I have to thank Jeff Sessions, Senator Jeff Sessions, one of the most respected men or people in Congress. And so many others. I mean, Sarah Palin has been from day one incredible. Jerry Falwell Jr., Liberty University. I mean, he is something. He is really a special person. They've done an incredible job, and everybody goes through Liberty. We all go through Liberty, and somehow he liked what I was saying, and perhaps he liked the way I said it, but he's a special guy, and he really has helped me. And so many pastors and ministers, and tonight I see that I won with the evangelicals. The evangelical vote was for Trump. And there's no greater honor, just no greater honor. And we're going to work together for many, many years. We're going to make it so good. We're going to be saying Merry Christmas again. We're going to be saying, remember what we're going to be saying. And I won with women. I love winning with women. But I won with women. We won with men. We won with Hispanics. We won with African Americans. We won with virtually every category. So it's just been an amazing evening. So again, I want to congratulate Ted Cruz. He is a tough, smart competitor. I want to thank my wife and my family. It's an incredible family. I want to thank my staff, both my staff and my thousands and thousands of people that work for the Trump Organization, and perhaps, in all fairness, more importantly on this evening and for what we're doing currently, my staff, where we're running for the presidency. And remember this, our theme is very simple. It's Make America Great Again. We will make America great again. We will start winning again. You will be so proud of this country very, very soon. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I must say, in staying in various places in Indiana, we had, I turned on the television and all I saw was negative ads, negative one after another, and I called
all right,
my people.
I have live Sanders reacting to his win, live Sanders reacting to his win.
Bad news for her. Tonight we won a great victory in Indiana. Next week, we're going to be in West Virginia. We think we have a real shot to win in that great state. Then we're going to Kentucky and we're going to Oregon. We think we have a pretty good chance to win there as well. And then we're going to another bunch of other states, culminating in the largest state in the United States with the most delegates, and that is the state of California. And we think we have a pretty good chance to win there. And I think that as more and more delegates to the Democratic Convention take a hard look at which candidate is generating the kind of enthusiasm, excitement, voter turnout that we need to make sure that somebody like a Donald Trump does not become president, I think you're going to see more and more delegates concluding that that candidate is Bernie Sanders. And the reason for that is that the issues that we are talking about in this campaign are the issues that are on the hearts and minds of the American people. The American people are tired of working longer hours for low wages. 1%. They are tired of super PACs and a corrupt campaign finance system that allows billionaires to buy elections. They're tired of a broken criminal justice system, which enables us to have more people in jail than any other country on earth. They are worried about the future for their children. And they understand that unless we create an economy that works for all of us and not just the 1%, their kids are going to have a lower standard of living than they do, and we're going to see the end of the American dream, and we are not going to allow that to happen. And the American people understand that in this great country we can do what every other major industrialized country on earth is doing, and that is guaranteeing health care to all people as a right, and to guarantee paid family and medical leave, and by the way, to demand, when we have so much income and wealth inequality, that Donald Trump and the billionaire class start paying their fair share of taxes. So we feel great about tonight, not only in winning here in Indiana and accumulating some more delegates, but also gaining the momentum we need to take us to the finish line. And we are, we started this campaign way behind. Nobody, I think, would have dreamed that here at this particular point in May of 2016, not only would we be here, but we would be winning elections, but we are. So I sense a great deal of momentum. I sense some great victories coming. And I think that while the path is narrow, and I do not deny that for a moment, I think we can pull off one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States, and in fact become the nominee for the Democratic Party. And then once we secure that position, I have absolute confidence that we are going to defeat Donald Trump in the general election. Thank you.
How's the change?
Danny?
Senator Sanders, after tonight, it seems that Donald Trump is going to become the likely GOP nominee. Will you commit now to saying whether or not you think he is a racist?
Look, I don't have to label him. I think that he virtually every day has insulted one group of people or another, whether it is Mexicans and Latinos, whether it is Muslims, whether it is women, whether it is veterans, whether it is African Americans. Let us never forget that before Trump became a candidate for president, he was one of the leaders of the so-called birther movement, a movement which tried to delegitimize the presidency of the first African American president we have ever had. I'll let the American people decide the appropriate label. But this is a man who does not have the demeanor, does not have the policy background or the ideas to become president of the United States. I would love to run against him, and I'm absolutely confident that not only we would beat him, but we'd beat him by a pretty large number.
How does the win in Indiana fundamentally change the race? Obviously, your delegate count
it's going to give us a great deal of momentum, because I think there are many in the media, like you and others, who have decided that the campaign is over. Well, I guess the people of Indiana did not quite agree with that assessment. You know? And I think you may be surprised to find out that the folks, and I'm not predicting, I don't know what's going to happen, but the people in West Virginia may not agree with that assessment. And the people of Oregon may not agree with that assessment. And the people in our largest state, California, may not agree with that assessment. So we understand, and I do not deny it for 1 second, that we have an uphill battle in front of us. But I think we have a path toward victory, although it is a narrow path. Our goal is twofold. Number one, to win a majority of pledged delegates. Number two, it is to make sure that in those states where we have won landslide victories, 65, 70% of the votes, that the superdelegates in those states listen to their constituents and vote the way their constituents voted in their state's primaries or caucuses. And thirdly, we are going to make the case to the superdelegates. Many of them, by the way, came on board Hillary Clinton's campaign before I was even an announced candidate. They were there way back when. Well, the world has changed in the last year. And I believe that we will be able to make the case to many of those superdelegates that what is most important is not whether Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders is the nominee. What is most important is that we do not allow someone like a Donald Trump to become president of the United States. And I think that according to every poll that I have seen in the last month, Bernie Sanders defeats Donald Trump in the national polls by greater margins than does Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders beats Donald Trump by greater margins than Hillary Clinton in battleground state after battleground state after battleground state. In other words, I think the objective evidence is that I am the strongest candidate to prevent Trump from becoming president.
Senator,
Yes, Mary Ellen.
Senator, you said yourself this week that you would have to win 65% of the remaining delegates to match Hillary Clinton and pledged delegates. It's not looking like Indiana's going to be that kind of landslide.
It's a start. It's a start. I'm looking forward to, there are other states to come. And we are looking forward to winning in West Virginia, looking forward to winning in Kentucky, looking forward to winning in Oregon. And as you know, the state that has the most delegates is obviously California. And we already have a strong ground game in California. We have sent a lot of our people to California. We're going to run an unprecedented campaign in California. And with the help of the American people who have helped us so much right now with those $27 contributions at BernieSanders.com, we have made history. We have 7.3 million campaign contributions, BernieSanders.com. And with the help of the American people, we're going to have the resources we need to win in California.
Senator, your fundraising dropped off pretty significantly.
I read an article in the New York Times. What was the word you used? Plunged? How do we compare to Hillary Clinton? She ended up with a few dollars more than we did.
But for you, it dropped.
Well,
By more than 40%.
Well, because we were record-breaking. The issue is, I think we raised, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, $26 million? $26 million in a month. That is a pretty good sum of money from where I come from. When we began this campaign, nobody ever dreamed probably we'd raise $26 million for the whole campaign, let alone in 1 month. Yeah, so our numbers went down, and Hillary Clinton beat us by a few dollars. We're taking on the most powerful political organization in America. She raised $600,000 more than I did. Didn't see the New York Times make that point. So we feel pretty good. And we feel that today's victory will probably help us. But look, we have enough money. Everybody always wants more money. I don't have a super PAC. Secretary Clinton has a super PAC. But we have enough money to run a strong and winning campaign throughout.
How do you plan to maximize those resources to take you through California? Because that's a very expensive
California is an outrageously expensive state in terms of media. You're right. And clearly we're not going to be spending $100 million or whatever it takes on media in California. So we have to decide the best way to allocate our resources. I think that what the focus of our campaign will be actually what it has been up to now. And that is we're going to do a whole lot of rallies. California has a lot of large and great cities. And I think what we are going to end up doing, we have brought out in this campaign up to today over 1.1 million Americans to rallies that we have held. I don't know, I could be wrong on this. I don't know that anyone has brought out more. I may be wrong about that, but that's my impression. We're going to go to California. And when we go to California, you're going to see very large rallies up and down that beautiful state. Our last question, Lauren.
Okay, Senator, today Donald Trump has been called a presumptive nominee. There are reports they're ramping up to the general election. Any concern that by extending the Democratic primary, that it's going to set Democrats at a disadvantage from July?
Not at all. If you look at the polling out there was a poll that just came out yesterday or today, and they asked the American people, has the Democratic primary process invigorated the Democratic Party? Is it good for the Democratic Party? By very large numbers, the American people say yes. What we are doing in this campaign, and I'm extremely proud of it, we are literally bringing millions of people into the political process. And the way you bring people into the political process is you engage in a serious, issue-oriented campaign. And people come out and they hear the points of view of Secretary Clinton, they hear my points of view, they get involved, and you know what? Those people then vote in the general election. So I have no doubt, zero doubt, that what we have done in this campaign, what we are doing now, and what we will do in the next 6 weeks is good for the Democratic Party, and it will result in a higher voter turnout. And let me conclude by saying this. Democrats and progressives win elections when the voter turnout is high. Republicans win elections when the voter turnout is low and when people are demoralized. I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that in November we have a very high voter turnout. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everybody.
He was like, I'm not just kidding.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.